In the ever-churning streaming wars, where algorithms dictate discoveries and blockbusters battle for eyeballs, Netflix occasionally unearths treasures that remind us of cinema's soul-stirring potential. Such is the case with Left-Handed Girl, a Taiwanese drama that slipped into the platform's library with little fanfare, only to be hailed by critics as one of the best solo directing debuts of the year. Directed by Shih-Ching Tsou in her feature-length Bao, this intimate portrait of familial migration and quiet rebellion premiered at the 2025 Cannes Film Festival in May, where it garnered whispers of admiration amid the Croisette's glamour. Now streaming globally, the film invites audiences into the humid heart of Taipei's night markets, where a young girl's left-handed defiance becomes a metaphor for breaking free from tradition's invisible chains. At its core, Left-Handed Girl follows the tender odyssey of 5-year-old Wei, played with ethereal poise by newcomer Nina Yi, who relocates from Taiwan's pastoral countryside to the neon-drenched chaos of Taipei alongside her older sister Mei Shiyuan Ma, and their widowed mother Lan Janelle Tsai. The family's new venture, a modest noodle shop tucked into the labyrinthine stalls of a bustling night market, serves as both livelihood and battleground. The air is thick with the sizzle of woks, the chatter of vendors hawking stinky tofu and bubble tea, and the undercurrent of economic desperation that propels such migrations. For Wei, a spirited left-hander in a right-handed world, the move amplifies her sense of otherness. Simple acts like wielding chopsticks or tracing handsy characters become acts of subtle insurrection, drawing ire from teachers and neighbors who view her backwards grip as a sign of stubbornness or worse, bad omens. Tsou's script, drawn from fragments of her own childhood, weaves these everyday frictions into a tapestry of emotional depth. The narrative unfolds in languid, observational vignettes. Wei's clandestine left-handed doodles on steamed bun wrappers, May's protective glares at schoolyard bullies, and Lan's weary smiles as she kneads dough at dawn, her hands calloused from years of unseen labor. The night market, vividly rendered through cinematographer Su Chiasa's lens, pulses with life, lanterns swaying like fireflies, the steam of beef noodle soup mingling with exhaust fumes, the cacophony of haggling that drowns out personal sorrows. Yet, beneath this vibrancy lies a poignant exploration of displacement, the mother's unspoken grief for her late husband, a fisherman lost to a typhoon, the sister's budding alliance against a city that chews up dreams. What elevates Left-Handed Girl beyond a standard coming-of-age tale is Tsou's masterful restraint. A former documentary filmmaker whose shorts have screened at Sundance and Berlin, she employs a neo-realist style reminiscent of Ho Xiaoxin's Summer at Grandpa's, favoring long takes and natural light over dramatic flourishes. The camera lingers on Wei's small rebellions, smearing ink left-handedly during calligraphy class, eliciting a teacher's sharp rebuke, or on Lan's ritual of folding dumplings, each plead a prayer for stability. Sound design, courtesy of composer Lynn Strong, amplifies the sensory immersion. The rhythmic chop of cleavers, the distant rumble of MRT trains, the soft patter of rain on tin roofs during monsoon confessions. These elements coalesce to create a film that's less about plot twists and more about the poetry of persistence, where a child's handedness symbolizes the broader fight for self-expression in a conformist society. Tsou's inspiration, as she shared in a post-Cannes interview, is profoundly autobiographical. Growing up in Taiwan, I often felt confined by tradition and expectations, especially as a girl, she reflected. I was taught to stay quiet, to follow the rules, to not take up space or draw attention. Born in 1988 in Kaohsiung, Tsou navigated a childhood where Confucian values emphasized filial piety and gender roles, leaving little room for individuality. Her own left-handedness, forcibly corrected by well-meaning relatives with rulers and right-handed gloves, became a touchstone for the film's themes. But looking back, I see how those limitations shaped me, she continued. They taught me to observe, to listen between the lines, and, most importantly, to give voice to those who couldn't speak up. This ethos permeates the story. Wei's mother, echoing Tsou's elders, initially scolds her daughter's cursed hand, fearing it invites misfortune, only to evolve through quiet epiphanies sparked by the girl's unyielding spirit. The film's Cannes reception was a whisper that grew to a roar. Premiering in the Uncertain Regard sidebar, a haven for innovative voices, it earned praise from jury president Naomi Kawas for its delicate balance of humor and heartache. Variety's critic called it a luminous debut that captures the awkward grace of girlhood, while The Hollywood Reporter noted its subtle feminist undercurrents, challenging Taiwan's patrilineal norms without preaching. Box office in Taiwan post-festival topped 50 million new Taiwan dollars, about $1.5 million USD, a modest but mighty sum for an indie, buoyed by word of mouth among urban millennials grappling with intergenerational clashes. Netflix's acquisition, reportedly in the low seven figures, aligns with their strategy of bolstering Asian content post-Squid Game's global domination. Think Drive My Car or Minari, to diversify beyond US-centric fare. For audiences, Left-Handed Girl offers more than escapism. It's a meditation on migration's microtraumas. The family's arc mirrors the real-life influx of rural Taiwanese to cities like Taipei, where over 70% of the population now resides, per government stats. Lan's noodle shop, inspired by Tsou's grandmother's stall, embodies the immigrant hustle. Long hours for slim margins, cultural code switching between countryside dialects and Mandarin commerce. Yet, hope flickers in the sisters' bond, Wei teaching Mei to sketch left-handedly under the market's glow, a scene that doubles as a reclamation of joy. Janelle Tsai's performance as Lan, a blend of stoic tenderness and suppressed rage, anchors the emotional core. Her final monologue, a left-handed letter to her daughters, delivering a gut punch of catharsis. Tsou's journey to this debut was circuitous. After studying film at National Taiwan University of Arts, she honed her craft in Docs Like the Salt Fields, 2019, which chronicled evaporators in her hometown, blending ethnography with lyricism. Can Cine Foundation supported Left-Handed Girl's script in 2023, a validation that propelled her from shorts to features. Returning to Taiwan to make this felt like reconnecting with that quiet version of myself, and finally telling her story out loud, Tsou concluded in her reflection. The result is a film that's intimate yet universal, speaking to anyone who's felt like the odd hand in a right-handed world, be it through queerness, neurodivergence, or cultural hybridity.